What is up, Sagittarius? How are you guys doing? It's bonus time. Time for your August bonus reading. Basically, all I'm doing is looking for details, situations, or scenarios that did not make it into any of the other August readings. If any of you need a personal reading, you can always go straight to my website if you want, tarotwithrich.com. I have a link for my website right down here in the description of the video. The most popular choice is my general personal readings, probably because they're so cheap, but they're easy, they're efficient, they're quick. You ain't got to ask me nothing, you ain't got to tell me nothing. All you got to do is click what you want me to read and I do the rest. But I do offer a lot more than that, and you can read up on everything else I have to offer on my website. Link is in the description. All right, let's hop into this. Starting this off with the current long-term relationship. So if you are not in a long-term relationship, this is not for you. If you are in a long-term relationship, but the two of you are not experiencing any problems, this is not for you. Let's see how the energy's looking for Sagittarius. How's it looking? Whoop, whoop, there we go. Boom, boom. High Priestess reversed. Some of you may be feeling like you're having a battle between ego and intuition. You can't tell if your intuition is telling you that something is off or if you're just tripping. Some of you dealing with a Cancer. Woo-hoo. Drama, 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 drama. Drama, conflict, horrible fucking communication. Horrible communication. God damn. Could be a fellow fire sign for some of you. There is a shitload of fire energy. A shitload of fire energy. And every single communication card is in the reverse. Every communication card is reversed. And I have an idea that's probably why there's so much drama and so many conflicts, because of poor communication. Or miscommunications, whatever. Maybe the two of you just aren't even on the same vibrational wavelength anymore, you know? Feels like there's some trust issues here. Now, some of you, I know this isn't all of you, but some of you are dealing with a situation where you are agreeing to work through infidelity. I know that's not all of you. So if you do not have rock solid evidence of infidelity, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those of you in which the cat's out of the bag, it's no secret, somebody cheated, it's out in the open, and we're agreeing to work through it. If that's your story, whoever it was that was betrayed is still very fucking hurt. Very, very, very hurt. Very hurt. But, again, I'm thinking trust issues here. So, yeah, some of y'all dealing with a Leo. Also have Cancer. Ooh, man, this looks like this is hanging on by a fucking thread, bro. Maybe some of you are on and off. I ain't gonna lie, though, this looks like a mess. It looks like a big old fucking mess. Looks like a big old ass goddamn mess. Well, let's see how the current person feels about you. How's the current long-term partner feel about Sagittarius? Whoop. Knight of Swords reverse jumped out. Maybe this person is the poor communicator. I didn't even get a chance to fucking shuffle. That fell right out on the table. Another communication card in the reverse. Maybe this person is just a horrible fucking shit communicator. Hang on. They don't really know, man. They don't know what they want. They don't know how they feel. very guarded. Oh, they got that guard up. Again, with the fucking fire energy, dude. This is starting out the same way the last spread did. All this fire energy coming straight out the gate. Ooh, and the 7 of Cups with the 2 of Wands. Ooh, and the 8 of Cups. Ah. Well, they're not sure. They're not sure. They're contemplating. I think they're weighing out the pros and cons as to whether or not they should just walk the hell away from this, go explore other options, start new and start fresh. Lover's card reversed. They don't really feel the connection like they once did. Not quite. I do think they miss it, though. They do miss what y'all once had, but it just doesn't feel like things will ever be the same. Could be a Gemini for some of you. Okay, well. All right, let's, should I see an outcome? Let's just get the advice here. You ain't got to be a goddamn skateboard scientist to fucking predict the outcome of that. That ain't gonna survive 2025. Let's get the advice here. Communication, dude. Communication. I hate to sound cliche, but you have no idea how important that is. That is so fucking important. Once communication starts going to shit, everything else goes to shit. Everything else goes to shit. I'm not saying that everything should be perfect. I'm not saying there will never be any arguments. I'm not saying there will never be any struggles or problems or ups and downs or all the way arounds. But communication should be on point. We should never be hanging in the dark, wondering what's going on with the person that you're dealing with, ever. You should never have to play a fucking guessing game. You should never have to sit and wonder, well, I wonder, are you mad at me? Or are you just not in love with me anymore? Or am I getting on your nerves? Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? You should never have to be wondering. Communication. If communication doesn't improve, I would shit a brick if this survived 2025. For those of you who resonate with this right here, it's hanging on by a thread. And hey, maybe a couple of you might be able to get it to hang on by that thread for a long time. I see it every now and then. Every now and then. Once every blue moon. I've seen, well, honestly, I could probably count on one hand clients I've had over the course of my career, which September makes 7 years. I've been doing this for a living. Then I'll tell somebody that. You know, this shit's hanging on by a thread. I'd give it about a 95% chance that the two of you won't be together 1 year from today. And then they come back in a year and say, hey, we're still together. I'm like, God damn, hats off to you. But those results aren't typical. That's very rare. Communication, dude. Y'all gotta fucking communicate. And I mean, the thing about it is that's so hard is you can't make somebody else communicate. You can't do that. You can't do that. But what you can do is be the bigger person and go first. That's what you can do. You can say, all right, well, I'm going to be the change that I want to see. If I want you to let your guard down and be more vulnerable and open up and communicate better, then I'm going to go first. I'm going to let my guard down. I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to be open and communicate. And I'm going to let it be known that this is what we both have to do. And if we can't get on the same page, you can either boot, scoot, and boogie on your own terms or wait until the universe does it for you. All right, shifting gears time. Let's see what's happening with the singles and the person that you're interested in. Any details I may have left out. Anything else Sagittarius needs to hear. Single Saggies and the person that you're interested in. Anything good happening, anything bad happening. Anything happening at all. 2 more shuffles, 2 more. Eight of Cups reversed. 4 of Cups. See this? This is where it gets slippery. Because when we're, okay, let me explain something to you. When I read the person that you're interested in, by default, there's 2 groups of you, okay? The first group of you is the group who has never said or done anything to indicate your feelings, right? New hire, got hired on at the workplace 3 months ago. You don't really talk to them, but you got a fucking crush on them, and you're hoping they got a crush on you too, right? That's the first group. The second group, which is the group that I'm mainly reading for, is the group where it's not a secret. We're talking, we're flirting, maybe even dating, some of y'all even fucking. There's something going on between us. Now, when the 4 of Cups comes out, I have to ask myself, does this person really know you're into them? Do they really know? Because if you look at this right here, most readers call this the card of a missed opportunity. And I guess, yeah, you could call it that. But why is this a missed opportunity? It's kind of hard to see because this is a blingy ass deck. But if you see what's going on right here in this card, this dude doesn't even realize that there's an opportunity behind him. Why doesn't he realize that? Because why the fuck would a cloud offer me a cup? That's not even a thought that would cross my mind. So why would I even think to look behind me up in the sky? Yeah, I wouldn't even think that, you know? So do they know? They either, one of 2 things. Either A, this person doesn't really know how you feel about them, or B, they don't know how into them you are. Maybe you all just have different love languages. Maybe they just aren't able to pick up what you're putting down. I don't know. I'm getting here, though, that some of y'all are interested in somebody that's already in another relationship. I know that's not all of you. But I'm really getting very heavily here that that's some of you. Maybe only 1 or 2 of you, but it's coming through here really strong. Some of y'all interested in somebody that's already with somebody? It's coming through pretty heavy right here. There's somebody else in this person's energy. I can tell you that much. Whether it's another relationship or somebody else that they're interested in. Or for some of you, it's a past person. Maybe they're trying to get back with a past person. But somehow I just don't think this person really understands how into them you are. Now, the only thing else that I could say is that if you did tell this person exactly how you feel verbatim, word for word, if that's your story, then that's a bad sign, because that means this person's keeping you at an arm's distance. If you've told them, hey, I'm really into you, you know, can I get your number? I'd really like to look into having a relationship with you. If you've said that to them or something along those lines, then that's a bad sign, because that means this person's not into you. With that 4 of Cups, Let's see if we can dig up their energy and intentions a little bit deeper. They're still hung up on some heartbreak. They're focused on something else. Even if they are like into you, yeah, they're still hung up on the last relationship that came to an end. Devil card. Yep. And I think there's a sexual attraction here. They might be interested in a sex-based connection, but this is all past energy right here. They're still hung up on somebody that broke their heart. Okay. Could be a Capricorn for some of you. Could be a fellow Sag. You also have Scorpio here. All right. They're afraid of commitment. Whatever, man. Let's get the advice then. Let's get the advice. Advice, advice. What is the best advice? Ooh, star card reversed. Well, not really much you can do in a situation like this. Have you made your feelings 100% clear? If you have not, one or two choices. Either make your intentions clear as a glass of ice water or walk away. There's no in between. If you're just waiting for this situation to kind of work itself out, that's not going to happen. So either barf it out on the table for them or walk away. If you have barfed it out on the table, you might want to walk away. So I'm trying to cover as many different situations as possible. Trying to. Okay, fuck a duck, man. Hang on, let me clear the air. This fucking heavy ass energy. I ain't even halfway fucking done with my work for the night neither, man. I'm a busy old boy. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let's see what else we can tell Sagittarius about the person from the past. Past person. What else can we tell you about the person from the past? Any details I left out? Anything important that needs to be said? Three of Swords. Karmic Wheel. Emperor reversed. Possible communication. I think there might be a closure conversation coming. Yup. Now, whether or not whoever initiates this conversation intends for it to be a closure conversation, I don't know. But I feel like a conversation is going to happen. And it's going to result in closure whether you want it to or not. I think closure is going to kind of happen by default. And a lot of that depends on how long it's been since you've seen each other. You know, whenever it happens by accident like that, most of the time that's usually the result of having not seen or heard from somebody for a really long time. And in the meantime, you've done more growth than you realize you've done. So you get that effect that the way I like to describe it is it's like Have you ever watched a movie for the first time since you were a little kid? Maybe you had a movie that you loved when you were like 8 or 9 years old, and then you just never saw it again, and then you finally watch it again when you're like 28 or 29 or 38 or 39, and you see it from a totally different perspective. You know, it's like, oh, wow, whoa, that's what that movie's all about? And you just see it from a higher perspective. Similarly, if you spend the right amount of time away from somebody and you do the right amount of healing and evolution, and you revisit somebody from the past, it can have a very similar effect. Like, whoa, okay, so that's who you are. That's what our relationship was. Oh, wow, okay. You know? Well, let me see how this person feels about you. How this person be feeling about Sagittarius, universe? How they feel about you, though? I see King of Swords. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say they're in love with you. I wouldn't say that. Lovers reversed. I think they've done a pretty decent job at detaching themselves from this, but they do want to talk to you. They do want to talk to you. If anything, maybe they want closure. Because we got 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, Lovers card reversed in this person's feelings and intentions. That does not look like they want a relationship to me. But we got Knight of Swords, Page of Swords, which indicates that they want to talk to you. Sounds to me like they want closure. King and Queen of Pentacles. I'm sorry. King of Swords, King of Pentacles. Looks like this person has done a pretty sophisticated job at separating themselves from their emotions. But they're still very self-centered, very greedy, very, very service to self. Let's put it like that. So when it all comes down to it, don't have high apple pie in the sky hopes about whether or not they're going to be concerned about anything that you've had going on or anything that's going on with you. This person is a me monster. Big old me monster. Me, me, me. It's all about me. I don't care what's going on with you. It's all about me and I and myself and me and I and more me. And I was talking about myself and me and you did this. Well, this is all about me and more about me, 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 me. That's this person. So, and maybe a conversation with this person will help you see that more clearly than you ever have. And you'll be like, oh, right. It ain't never gonna fucking work with you. And I'm not allowed to spy on the details of somebody's life, but for them, it ain't never gonna work with anybody else either. Not while they're rolling in this energy, it ain't. So, any advice? Two of Wands. Well, the only thing I could really say, and this is hard, I don't even like giving this advice because I can't explain how to do it. But if you can somehow figure out how to lower your expectations, that's really hard to do, I know. And I don't know how to tell you how to do that. But if you can figure out how to lower your expectations, and when I say lower your expectations, that doesn't mean expect the worst. Expecting the worst is still an expectation. I'm not saying expect the best. I'm not saying expect the worst. I'm saying be at a place where you're neutral. where you're at that place where it's like, no matter how this turns out, I'm cool either way. I'm good. Even if it turns out that you are a fucking piece of shit, I'm cool with that. You know, I'm cool either way. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to be overjoyed or pissed off no matter what happens. Hopefully you can get to that place before you and this person have a conversation, because if not, you might go through a little period of disappointment. All right. Either way, though, this is getting closed out. All right. All right. I feel like those were the messages that my Sagittarius family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is all down here in the description of the video. All right. I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.